against imitators who distort their image into a grotesque stereotype. They should reclaim their ethnic uniqueness by defining a new beauty standard that can only be reflected by white women. Now, many black women will tell you they weave or burn European styles into their hair because they're under pressure to conform to the dominant beauty standard. And by dominant, let's assume they mean most hyped. Well, the dominant beauty standard has several components to it. Waif-like thinness, height, hair, and youth. That's 4 components. Why is it that black women who claim to weave out of pressure to conform to a dominant beauty standard only stop at the hair component of it? What about the other 3 components? Why aren't they trying to be thin, for example? The only thing they seem pressured to conform to is having long hair like white girls. So what, Thugtician? Well, the societal pressure argument is weakened substantially by that fact alone. The only component of the dominant beauty standard they feel pressured to conform to is to have long hair like white girls. Why not the rest? Secondly, and this is key, only a tiny handful of women can obtain the so-called dominant beauty standard. Why? Because most women are not anorexic 18-year-old 6'2" supermodels. Most women, including white women, cannot and never will look like that. So again, what beauty standard are these black women aspiring to? Let's cut through the fog of black women's bullshit. They're trying to look like the average walking down the street white chick. And that is exactly where the self-hate lies. If they were trying to reach the extreme image reflected by the dominant beauty standard, then we could say they were aiming for something exceptional. But they just want to look like the white girl next door. You self-hating clown. They're not trying to attain any so-called dominant beauty standard. They're trying to look like the numerically dominant woman. White women. Furthermore, who said there was only one way to be beautiful? A dominant beauty standard is but one standard. It may be a dominant standard, but it is neither the only or necessarily the highest standard. The fact that these women define beauty in such narrow terms tells us 2 things about them. 1, that they are creatively unimaginative. 2, by giving into this non-existent pressure to conform, they actually endorse it. They're saying that it's the correct standard. You stupid bastards. There is no societal pressure on them to look like anorexic supermodels. What there is a conspiracy to whitewash blackness that black women willingly sign up to every day. I hate the weave because what it says is that our natural black selves is not good enough. They say that tight curly black hair is too difficult to maintain. Well, tell me how. All you do is oil it, put a comb through it, and you're ready to go. Weaving, on the other hand, costs time and money to maintain. It is a disgusting and unhygienic regime that does nothing for black women. It actually does the opposite of what it's intended to do, which is tone down the Africanness of the appearance. How? Because long straight hair doesn't fit on black women. What you notice first about them are all the African aesthetics that make long straight hair look totally clownish on them. Now, have you ever woken up next to a black woman with a weave? The fucking thing stinks. They put a scarf or a do-rag over it before they go to bed so that it doesn't get mussed up. During the night the head sweats, but the sweat can't escape because there's no air coming through. In the morning you get hit with this rancid odor of stale sweat mixed in with the smell of whatever synthetic fabric the weave is made from. If you stand close to a woman with a weave, you'll notice the odor. They can't wash it, go out in the rain in it, or exercise in it. It just festers on the scalp like rotting roadkill. This is what beauty has become in the black community. Well, I say, fuck you. I have had enough of these Uncle Toms and sellouts who are so ashamed of our genetic heritage and bring nothing but disgrace to our people, and then try to act as if what they do is harmless or even good for us. Weaving or burning European styles into your head is pure self-hatred. It is cultural suicide, and I don't like it. Now, who am I not to like it? I am a black man who likes my natural black self. That is where my authority comes from. I like myself just the way I am. I'm not trying to convince the world that I'm anything other than your average black man. I ain't a good black man, or a productive black man, or an educated black man, or any other kind of better than everyone else black man. Just a plain old black man. I don't hate any part of myself to the point where I want to disguise that feature by imitating the characteristics of people who are at the opposite end of the color spectrum to myself. On the contrary, my self-esteem and sense of self may be a little bit too high, which means I am a healthy black man. I am what a healthy black person looks, feels, and sounds like, and that qualifies me to diagnose self-hate in self-haters. Later.